Hi, I'm Rob, and in this video I'm going to tell you what's more useless than a turn signal on a BMW in the Soulforge and what's actually worth crafting. I'll also give my Mythic pick of the week. Who's the best Mythic there if you're absolutely determined to craft a Mythic this week? I'm also going to pop into the shop here and give you my first impression on the new weekly event Glory Troop. This one is Hellclaw Rager, so let's take a look. Pride Lands Epic. When I give my first impressions on these, it is based on the Ascension level and how powerful the troop is in the first place, regarding its level, i.e. in this case, Epic. Anyway, deals damage to an enemy, and if they are elemental, deal a triple damage, and if they die, enrage myself. That's actually pretty decent against elementals anyway. Obviously against lesser troops or different classes, not so much so, but against elementals, that can be pretty effective. Traits: Elemental Slayer, deal a double damage, skull damage versus elementals, Bloodlust, become enraged when an enemy dies, and Agile, 20% chance to dodge skull damage. So, okay, let's imagine this thing is in first place, which it sounds like it's going to be its best place because you obviously need to be in first place to do skull damage, and it gets double skull damage versus elementals. Become enraged when an enemy dies is decent, get extra damage from that, and 20% chance to dodge. So not bad in first place, and in my case going to do like over 120 damage to an elemental that obviously is based on your magic level in the game. But yeah, against elementals this is going to be a fairly decent troop, and I would give this a very solid 7 out of 10. Against other classes of troops, not much so. You're not getting that double damage versus elementals. You're not getting that triple damage there. It's only about a 4 out of 10, I would say, against normal troops. But against elementals, very good. A 7 out of 10. Worth picking up, and when you grab these, I always recommend you get them, if you can, to Mythic level. It means you've got another troop to get up to level 20, which is going to aid your power levels on your kingdoms. So totally worth doing. And whilst you're here, you can grab some Spoils of War. Any excess glory, again, can be spent on these, and they cost 180 glory each. You can get 10 of them max every single week. You get extra souls, extra gold, but most valuable is the event keys. Can be really handy indeed. Right, so let's go to the Soulforge and see what's worth crafting and see what's more useless than a turn signal on a BMW. Alright, we'll start with the weapons. All these Curse Breaker ones are on a previous Soulforge video because they're here every single week. If you put Curse Breaker in the search bar on my channel, you will find the video for that. And all these other ones that are here all the time, the same. I'm not going to go over all the ones that are here every single week, but let's take a look at this one first. This is Twin Claws. Explodes a load of green gems based on your magic level, and grants a random status effect to all beast allies and summons a beast at the same time. So a mana generator, a status effect giver, and a summoner all in one. Really handy, these weapons. I do like them a lot. Uses purple and yellow but explodes green. So most handy if you've got couple of green troops on your side at the same time, and obviously if they're beasts it's even better. But if your team fulfills those requirements, then I do really like these weapons, and they are definitely worth picking up. Black Mane's Claw deals damage to an enemy boosted by Raksha allies, then creates a mix of 6 red and brown gems for each Raksha ally. So using yellow and green but creating red and brown means we need a couple of the other troops in our team to be using red and brown for this to be worthwhile using. But again, if your team fulfills those requirements, then that can be some seriously good mana generation at the same time, so not bad at all. Cat's Paw. If your cat's paw looks like that, I would recommend a visit to the vets pretty urgently, because there's something going on which shouldn't be. Anyway, deals damage to an enemy boosted by Pride Lands allies. It's very similar to the last weapon. Then creates a mix of 6 green and red gems for each Pride Lands ally. So this uses yellow and blue, but creates green and red. So same as the last weapon. If your team fulfills those requirements, then that is definitely a really good weapon, but otherwise not so much so. Ah, rope dart. Now we are talking. If you haven't got this weapon and you've got the diamonds, just craft it right now. Not right now, because that means you have to back out of the video and stop watching, which is not the plan. After you finish watching this video, go back out, get rope dart, and don't forget to get it because it's absolutely superb. One of the best weapons in the game. Top 5 weapon for me, easily, maybe more. Eliminates all armor from an enemy and deals damage to them based on your magic level and pulls them to front. But one of the best things about this is if you get it upgraded fully, you get an extra turn as well, which is absolutely crazy. Say an amazing weapon. I really like it. They get entangled at the same time. When you get this thing upgraded, it's absolutely superb. Love it. One of the best weapons in the game. And if you don't have it, get it immediately after you finish watching this video. And what else is there? Is that it? Nope, we've got Spear of the Pride. Remove all red gems with no effect. So obviously if you have red allies in your team, this is not going to help you on that. But if you're fighting a team with red enemies, then this can be really useful indeed as a counter to them stopping collecting the colour that they need. Then deals damage to an enemy boosted by the amount of gems removed, a 3-to-1 ratio. If the enemy is from Pride Lands, or if the battle is in Pride Lands, deal double damage. That's one you don't see very often, I don't think, unless I've not been paying attention. If the battle is in Pride Lands, deal double damage. That's quite an interesting little twist there. And Beastly Bow. Deal a damage to an enemy boosted by beast allies. Then create a mix of 6 green and yellow gems for each beast ally. So uses blue and brown, but again, similar to those other 2 weapons, you generate green and yellow. So you need a couple of green and yellow mana using allies in your team to make this worthwhile using. And if you fulfill those requirements, it is not bad at all. But the pick of the week is easily rope dart on the weapons. Absolutely superb weapon. You need that weapon. Absolutely fantastic. Game-changing weapon, I would say. Once you get that on Yellow Day, on Guild Wars, Blue Down Guild Wars, you can create some absolutely awesome teams with this if you do that. And even if you don't, it is still fantastic for other game modes in Explore 12 and things like that. And it's just brilliant. Go get it. All right, on to the troops. Not going to look at all the ones that are here all the time again, as before. Start with the Mythics. Quetzalma. Interesting troop this. Very high mana cost, 26. And deals scatter damage, boosted by a chosen gem colour. But you're not allowed to pick yellow. Then create 10 yellow gems and remove all gems of the chosen colour. So you can pick a colour where there's a lot of them there, as long as it's not yellow. Which when it creates 10 more, if there's a lot of yellow there, then that is a very high chance of an extra turn and self-charging, because this uses yellow at the same time. And there's a light storm at the same time, or at the start of the battle at least, but if you've still got that storm going, then this can generate an absolute ton of yellow. Pretty handy. And that Eternal Dawn as well, 20% chance to resurrect myself with full mana when I die. And that seems to come in a little bit more than 20% to me, but hey ho, it is what it is. But that's a good thing when it's on your side, but a bad thing when you are fighting this tricky little bird. Quetzalma. Will of Nisha. Will of being half decent more like, but you're not. You're a bit rubbish in my opinion. Still 3 magic from all enemies and deal, in my case, 29 damage to them. So that is based, looks like it's magic +1. It's pretty terrible. It's like, not sure how the balance of these mythics gets worked out sometimes. I mean, I'm sure the devs must have some sort of algorithm which when used with certain other troops means there's potential there somewhere, but just hard to see with that spell. It's pretty lame, to be honest. The trait's nothing special either. Gain 1 life for each purple ally. Reduce damage from spells by 50% is decent. And all purple allies gain 1 to all stats at the start of each turn. Can be powerful in a purple looping team, but it takes an age to be really effective. So again, becomes irrelevant to a certain degree. Will of Nisha. No words. Not terrible, but not good either. The very average Mythic. There's not much more to say. It's deals scatter damage boosted by entangled enemies and creates 10 green gems. Now, the third trait is useful. Entangle a random enemy when matching green. So you just got to match green in a green-based team. You're going to entangle the whole team, the enemy, quite quickly, which can be really, really useful. And that is going to boost the power of the spell. If you've got all the enemy entangled, then this is going to be nearly 100 scatter damage. But that's still not that high compared to some other mythics, and indeed some legendaries. Can self-charge, creates 10 green gems, so it's quite handy. She uses green. But how does she do anything with those hands? I don't get it. It's like, that is some seriously spindly, twisty, dodgy looking fingers going on there. I mean, cooking, trying to use a frying pan, making on pancake day, that's going to be a nightmare, isn't it? I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, so very, very average and nothing fantastic there on Yasmin's chosen. Wulfgarok. Oh dear. Deals a small amount of damage to an enemy boosted by Wargear allies at ×4 ratio, and if the enemy dies, devour a random enemy. Now the trouble with that spell is the initial damage is so low, even when boosted up by a full Wargear team, you have to already have an enemy into kill range for Wulfgarok before it's worth casting, and then you are guaranteed a total of 2 kills. The kill you just got and the devour a random enemy, unless they are of course immune to devour, because you can't choose who you're going to devour. It's a random enemy, and if you pick someone that happens to be random, tough luck, they ain't going to die. So you need to get the enemy you want to kill within kill range first, and have Wulfgarok charged up before it's worth casting, and that's why he's really, really tricky to use, and just a poor mythic for me. Not good at all. The traits are gain 1 life when an ally casts a spell. Impervious is semi-useful, immune to all status effects, devour, lycanthropy and mana burn, and give 2 attack and magic to allied wargear when matching 4 or more gems is okay. But the spell is absolutely terrible. So that is the mythics. I'll just say who my mythic pick of the week is in a minute, but we'll quickly go over the legendaries first. And here they are. The Silent One. Silence all enemies and myself. I really like Silence as a spell or a trait. It's absolutely superb. Silence troops cannot collect mana or cast spells. So once you get that on the whole team, that is just shutting them up completely. They ain't doing nothing. They can collect mana, which you obviously have to do unless there's a skull match there, but they're not going to even be collecting mana or casting spells. It's like a massive freeze on the other team basically on what they're doing, but it's better than freeze in a way because they're not actually collecting mana either. It's a complete waste of a turn every single time they match that, unless they have some skulls to match. They can still do skull damage, but apart from that, they are absolutely screwed. So it does silence the whole himself as well, so that can be annoying. But again, if the whole other team is silenced, then that is a fairly decent troop there. Do you like the Silent One? Winter Imp, really, really good legendary. This deals true scatter damage, so bypassing armor, to all enemies boosted by blue gems. And if the enemy dies, freeze all enemies. And you can guarantee that you're going to kill an enemy sometimes, because in a blue looping team, the power that this thing gets eventually goes wildly out of control. Allied elementals gain 2 life, excuse me, gain bonus blue mana from blue gem matches, and gain 8 magic on blue gem matches. Now you put 2 of these in a team, that's going to become 16 magic on blue gem matches. And combine it with, say, Shabanu Vespera and, I don't know, Anu's Scepter or something, a blue weapon, and you've got a really powerful team there, or it doesn't have to be a blue weapon, but just one that came to the top of my head there. But any sort of blue looping team that can loop really well. Actually, I said Anu's Scepter because with Shabanu Vespera, if you keep selecting the single blue troop, which can be Winter Imp or Anu's Scepter, she's going to generate just so much blue. It will loop and loop and loop, and just you'll gain 16 magic just every single time you do that, which is going to go absolutely mad on that damage in the end. So really, really good. Winter Imp, love this troop, absolutely superb. Dark Monolith, meh. Deals damage to the 2 weakest enemies and deal double damage if I am damaged. And by damage, it means not damage to his armor, it has to be damage to its life. So even if you've hit it a couple of times, it's still got life there, or if you've been hit, sorry, a few times, you still got your armor, you're not going to get that double damage. So it's not that great. The stone skin, reducing damage from skulls by 50% is not too bad. And gain 3 magic when an enemy casts a spell is not as good as it sounds either, because basically you have to start letting the enemy attack you to start absorbing the power. So Dark Monolith, nah, you ain't that great, mate. Seguero deals damage to the 2 weakest enemies and gains 10 life and attack. Not particularly a fan of these kind of troops that you're pre-selected who you're going to attack, in this case the 2 weakest enemies, because sometimes people are left on, or troops left on 1 or 2 life, and it's almost a complete waste of that spell. It's like not that great for me. Immune to Devour is quite handy though, as is Reflect 25% of skull damage. And deal 3 damage to all enemies when I match skulls is okay, but nope, not one of the better legendaries for me, that one. So who gets my amazingly coveted, world renown, maybe, Mythic of the Week? Is it going to be Wolfgarok? No, mate, because you are absolute trash. Is it going to be Will of Nisha? No, because we will you to be good, because you're still utterly crap. And is it going to be Yasmin's Chosen? No, I don't think so. I think overall this just about goes to Quetzalma, because Will of Nisha, Yasmin's Chosen even, Will of Nisha is good, I nearly said. That would have been an error. Yasmin's Chosen is actually very middling, but Quetzalma for me in the right team can be actually quite a concern. When you see this in first place in Guild Wars teams, it's something you want to try and get rid of quite fast if you can, because that 20% chance to resurrect myself with full mana when I die is a concern, as is the spell which can loop and get yourself charged up again. So Quetzalma in the right team, Divine and Strix is my Mythic of the Week. But I wouldn't necessarily craft it either, just because it's the Mythic pick of the week. I've got to pick something, so I always pick a Mythic of the Week every single week that's in the Soulforge as my what's the best one to craft if you are determined to spend your diamonds. But I wouldn't necessarily craft it either. There are far more essential Mythics than this. It's just a good one for me, but there are far better ones which will be here in just 7 days. 7 days is not long. It's worth hanging back and seeing what happens regarding next week's Mythics. So there's a Soulforge video. If you enjoyed it or found it useful, it'd be cool if you click that like and subscribe button, because it really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching. I'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.